Violent video games have always been popular, but in VR, that violence takes on a new meaning. When, rather than just watching some animation on screen play out from button inputs, you are actually committing the gestures that create that violence and make it happen. It's much more intense and much more visceral. But it's also a lot of fun. So today we're going to dive into the 7 most violent games available in VR right now. We're going to start with an oldie but a goodie. Blood Trail first launched back in 2019 as an early access game, and it's often considered the most violent game in VR. It's a game in which you are taking on the role of a contract killer, and it's basically up to you to decide how to kill the enemies that you face, your opponents, in the most gruesome manner possible. It's obviously got guns and melee weapons and other items that you can imagine to take out your enemies, and you can approach the missions, or the violence, in pretty much any way you see fit. Next up, we've got Blade and Sorcery. Now this is a super popular medieval style combat game. You'll be slicing and dicing your enemies with swords and axes, using a shield for defense, but there's also a magic element to this. You can cast spells to take advantage of certain situations. This game, it gained some notoriety for its early attempt at full body simulation, and even today it stands up pretty well. Blade and Sorcery is not the kind of game that you're gonna play for a weekend and forget about. It is a landmark title in VR and still stands up.
Master your enchantments.
Now we have a more recent release, Gorn II. Now this game, based on the original Gorn, is just all about wacky bloodshed, violence and gore. You enter an arena in which you face a series of enemies. There's a preset amount of enemies come running into the arena, and you have to use whatever's around you in order to kill them. That's it, pretty simple stuff. But it's all about the wacky violence, as I say, and you'll be able to use the weapons that your enemies have in order to take them out. If you find yourself unarmed, maybe punch those enemies a bit, steal their sword, and use it against them. Maybe you'll find the arena has some traps in it, and you can kick them into those traps to take advantage of the space that you're in. The original Gorn was super popular at its launch, and Gorn II does improve on that formula. It's hard to pick which one is the more enduring game, because Gorn II does build on Gorn, but the original Gorn is still so good. Either way, you can't go wrong with either Gorn or Gorn II, so check these ones out. Talking of the Gorn games, there's a lot of games in VR that are actually very gory as well. And one game, while you may not consider it to be exceedingly violent, the damage detail and the enemies that you get is one of the best in the entirety of VR. And that game is Arizona Sunshine. Now, originally when I played this game, it was an arena shooter of some kind. But as the time went on, it became an adventure game and it expanded significantly. So much so that Arizona Sunshine 2 is one of the most popular games in VR and is also a remake of that original game now. There are lots of people that are hankering for a third Arizona Sunshine, and I'm sure we'll see it one day. But as things stand, Arizona Sunshine 2 and Arizona Sunshine Remake are great, violent and gory experiences available now in VR. Next up, we have The Walking Dead, Saints and Sinners. Now, this is 2 games in the series, and both of them are quite popular, but here at 131, we actually prefer the original. This game, based in the Walking Dead universe, is a survival horror zombie game. You'll be attacked by dozens of zombies and have to find out the best way to cut through them all to reach your objective, while also doing some resource management, inventory management, crafting new weapons, and so on. It's not super hard on the pressure. You'll often find the resources you need with just a little bit of looking around, but it's more about the combat. While you're looking, zombies can creep out from anywhere, even creeping up on you from behind, so you need to have constant awareness of your environment. Another recent title now, Hellsplit Arena. This is a game that we have already reviewed on 131XR, which you can find up the top here. And it's a game in which you enter an arena and fight off enemy waves of undead and demons and what have you. As you progress through the game, you can spend currency you earn in the arena to unlock new weapons, new abilities, new bonuses, potions, and so on. And you take those back into the arena and engage in more combat. It's a cycle that is actually quite engrossing. Once you get into it, you'll find that there's tons of weapons and you'll want to try one of these weapons and see if it becomes your new favourite. But in order to do so, you'll need to go through a couple of bouts in the arena. And so it keeps you pulling on, keeps pulling you forward in order to make that next hit, in order to get that next reward. Now we come to Resident Evil 4, and this is a game that obviously launched many years ago now, originally on the Nintendo GameCube, and then the PlayStation 2, and then subsequently pretty much every format known to man. But the VR edition is different. The VR edition changes the game to be a first-person perspective, so you become Leon Kennedy. And in this scenario, when you're going up against giant chainsaw-wielding freaks and monsters of all kinds, it does become quite intense. Resident Evil 4 VR launched 4 years ago now, but it's still commonly considered one of the best games for survival horror in VR. We're going to end with another survival horror game, Lies Beneath. Now this one is just as violent as all of the others on the list, but the unique part of this is that it has this strange comic book style aesthetic. It has brutal melee combat in this game. It's quite visceral when you're slicing through your enemies. But a lot of the horror in this game is also psychological. It's this strange mix of encroaching fear from the enemies that you see, but also the mind tricks that the game plays on you. So those were our top picks for the most violent games that are fun to play in VR right now. There's a lot of other titles out there as well, like Hard Bullet. So if you're looking for more, remember to check out the channel and see some of the reviews we've done before.